start with an opening statement from you, and then open it up to questions from the student athletes.
Yeah, sorry, my voice is a little hoarse. What an atmosphere. This is just such a special place. I was just thinking about that the whole game. The seats were full, beautiful night. Just so thankful for that. We talk about it's an honor and a privilege to wear the Carolina uniform, but it's also an honor and a privilege to be here playing in the College World Series, and everybody does such an unbelievable job. It's just such a special place. Great game, two really good teams. West Virginia is tough to defend against. They're dynamic in a lot of ways offensively. I thought Yale he settled in. We got too early, but he was on. So we were just battling, and, credit to our pitchers. I thought Ryan Lynch, I think he got 2 double plays. I know they had first and third and nobody out. That was a huge double play in my opinion. Then McDuffie, first time pitching in Omaha, he was pretty good. Big swing of the bat by this guy beside me right here, Mr. Clutch, and then again, Caden Glauber coming in there and putting out that fire. So great win for us. We have to regroup quickly. We have to be process-oriented. We got to move on and get ready to get back to work tomorrow to be ready to play well on Wednesday.
We're going to open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Tommy Ashley, Inside Carolina. Gavin, your coach preaches slow heartbeat. You guys come up clutch in pressure times. Just sort of educate us on how you get to that zone late.
I mean, I just try to, keep everything the same, stick with the routine, and trust my preparation. That's what can really keep you grounded. So, and then it also helps having him down at third base. Just look down there, and he's always got a smile on his face. So, kind of, takes a little bit of weight off your shoulders. But yeah, I mean, just in there trying to have a good team at bat.
Mark Arnold, Just Baseball Media. Gavin, you've been clutch a lot in your career. What does it mean to be able to wear the C on your chest like that and be able to come through for your teammates in the biggest situations?
Yeah, it's an honor and a privilege to have these guys trust me enough to allow me to wear this as well as the coaching staff. So yeah, it means a lot to me. It means a ton. These guys know that I have their back and whatever they need, and I'm lucky enough that they have mine. So when I'm up there at the plate, it makes it easy on me. We know that everybody on this team is bought in, and we can trust each other. So it makes it easy when you go up there to just try to do your job.
Noah Weisskopf with Tar Heel 24/7. Gavin, after your at bat in the 5th, you walked up the tunnel for about 10 seconds. What did you tell yourself in that moment? Did you say something yourself? What was that?
Y'all aren't supposed to know about that, but no, I mean, sometimes you need a little reset. I think we all feel that way. So that's pretty much all that was. And walked up the tunnel, ended up running into 3 of our coaches, gave them a smile, and turned around and walked back. So, yeah, I mean, not much.
Nick Dioli, College Baseball Central. Walker, 2 years ago, you were in the stands for the regionals, watching these guys advance, and then ultimately beating West Virginia in the Supers. Now you're here pitching against West Virginia in the College World Series. Just talk to me about that full circle kind of moment for you.
Yeah, like you said, it's a full circle moment. And when you're in the stands as a fan, when you're committed here, like all you think about is wanting that to be you and helping the team win. And I'm just lucky enough and grateful enough for Coach Schwartz to put me out there to make it happen.
Tar Heel Tribune. You hadn't pitched in a week, and a couple of your last 3 outings maybe were not like you would have liked. Did you feel like you had the rhythm right off the bat when you came out there?
Yeah, I mean, you have to flush it. Those last few outings, yeah, they weren't great, but it's not going to determine how I pitch in this next outing because I can't carry it in there. And those outings right there, if anything, they prepared me for today because we take failure as a learning opportunity, and all it did was make me better.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. Gavin, whether it was you or someone else in that spot, West Virginia is not a team that makes a ton of mistakes, so how big was it to make those errors in that inning hurt?
Yeah, we preach defense and pitching here at UNC. We know how important that is, especially when you're playing in Omaha on the biggest stage. And so when other teams make those mistakes, it's important that you capitalize because, when you get to this point in the season, you're not going to get many chances like that. Fortunately, they did make those mistakes, and we capitalized.
Grace Nugent, Inside Carolina. Walker, we've talked about the love-hate relationship you sometimes have with your slider. How is that a weapon for you tonight?
I just didn't overthink it. I think at times I try to make it move too much, and I think just simplifying it and working on the little things like doing belt work or something in the back, those little things are what adds up and helps that slider stay more consistent.
We're going to take one more for the student athletes.
Michael Coe, WCHL, chapelboro.com. For Gavin and Walker, you guys are both from North Carolina. How meaningful is it to run out on that diamond, see all the Carolina fans who have made the trip here? It's the farthest trip for any fan base here at the College World Series. What does it mean to have that fan support?
Yeah, it means the world. This is why you come to UNC, because you play in the biggest games and you have the best fans. So, I mean, it's what you dream for and it's what you live for, so we take full advantage of it.
Yeah, and to that point, I think now is a good time to thank them for everything that they do for us. They're awesome at the Bosch. They show out weekend after weekend, and especially in the postseason, they're awesome. And also families. This is a tough trip to make. It's not cheap, and our families, they sacrifice a lot to get here and support us. So really appreciate that and thank them as well.
Gavin, Walker, we appreciate your time.
See you later. See you, big dog. Get that sleep.
We're now going to open up the questions for Coach.
Coach Forbes, Tommy again. He talked about family. Walker talked about family. You always talk about family. Your own plus a bunch of those 06 boys were there above the dugout late. Just sort of talk about that emotion.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, they are family. If you're a transformational coach or trying to be, doesn't mean we're perfect, then it seems like they become even a closer family. And that's something that's so important to us at UNC, that the players feel that. We use the word love all the time as the backbone of our program, and I explain to our guys there's some tough love in there. But it's the strongest thing on the planet. But also, it's like Gavin said, the effort and having your own family out here. Baseball has just been such a blessing, and it brings so many people together. So I just joke all the time. I don't know how many family members we've got out here with my family. We call them the Griswolds sometimes, because it's a lot of fun. But just thankfulness is what I think about with the families.
Monty Taylor with Just Baseball. Coach, talking about Ryan Lynch, I know you mentioned in your opening statement, but it feels like he went out there and kind of gritted out 4.2 innings there and did a job to get you to McDuffie and then Glauber. How important is he? I think his postseason ERA is sub-3 now, and he's been very good over 30 innings. Talk to me about his performance today and how he did his job to kind of bridge that gap.
Your starter, anytime the more length they give you, the better chances, especially when you really like your bullpen like we do. And that's what you have to win championships. And both those guys have, we feel like we got 1A and 1A the whole season. His slider wasn't as on as it was the last two outings, but he still battled. You said it was just a gritty performance. His stuff is so nasty and it plays up. He can get out of an inning, especially getting a double play ball. And that's a credit to our infield, too. They make those plays behind him. But big pitchers or clutch pitchers make clutch pitches in big situations. And I told him that I thought that was the biggest pitch of the game. The momentum had shifted a little bit, in my opinion, and they had first and third with no outs, and then boom, just like that, they only get 1 run, it's 2-2, and we get back in the dugout. So, that was huge for us, for him to almost get to the 5th.
School with Inside Carolina. I think across 2 games here, every inning you've scored, the leadoff man has reached. How important is it to kind of generate that early traffic on the base paths and give yourself an opportunity to plate someone?
Yeah, I've been saying over my head we need to get the leadoff guy on. We just haven't done it a lot. But, it gives you momentum. Our guys are good base runners. We have some speed distributed throughout the lineup. Gives you an opportunity to possibly bunt and put more pressure. And it's not like we're not trying to get the leadoff guy on. It's one of those things I probably shouldn't talk about to the hitters because I don't want to jinx it, but we would like to do that more, I can tell you that.
Rod Baxley, Fayetteville Observer. Scott, whether it's a double play ball or putting pressure on the defense, how do you describe this team's ability to continue to thrive in these pressure-packed moments, whether it's at the plate or on the mound or in the field?
You know, we like to think that we try to make practice harder than the game. I think that's important. This time of year, even though it's short, like yesterday, we had the machine cranked up and it was throwing cheese. And, you know, you got to be ready to get in there and compete. And we always preach to our players, as coaches, we're going to try to make practice as difficult as possible. Buy into it, understand how important practice is. Trust us, we're not going to go out there and practice 4 hours this time of year. But, you know, it's that preparation thing, you know, and it gets rid of that little birdie doubting yourself. If you've done something really hard over and over and over, it's like fundamental defense. Our guys know, like, you're going to do it every single day that we practice because that's just what we're going to do. So understand how important that is. And this group, credit to them, they bought into it, and they'll come tomorrow wherever, you know, whatever I have on the practice plan, whether or not it's just a lift, they'll do it, and they'll do it at a high level.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7. As the head coach of North Carolina, you know the program's pedigree, but you also know the history. You're currently 2-0. You don't play again until Wednesday. How does it feel to sit in the driver's seat and have your hands firmly on the steering wheel?
Yeah, I mean, I believe in honesty. It feels great. I mean, you know, obviously we want to prepare and play well on Wednesday, but my first year back here as a pitching coach in 2006, I wasn't in here. Coach Fox was in here after a Robert Woodard complete game of Clemson, but we haven't won that second game since then. So obviously it feels great to win that game, and I'm glad I've been in that position. Maybe that can help me prepare and make sure that our guys don't get too comfortable and understand that, hey, our goal is just to play really well on Wednesday. But I think I'll sleep pretty good tonight after going 2-0, that's for sure.
Wilson Moore from the Omaha World Herald. Scott, just how have you seen Walker grow these past few weeks of just being thrown into the fire and going through the postseason baseball?
You know, we had heartbreak last year. He was part of that heartbreak. He didn't pitch as well as he wanted to pitch, obviously. You know, Walker's from, he doesn't say he's from my hometown, but he is. He's from Broadway. I'm from Sanford. And I know the character that he has, and I know how bad that hurts. As a matter of fact, when I was leaving the stadium after we lost to Arizona, I pulled up to the stoplight right by the hospital and looked over to my right after we lost that Game 3, and I saw Walker McDuffie, and we just kind of looked at each other. We talked about that the other day, how those things make you better. And he's worked his tail off to be more of a complete pitcher. He didn't have the changeup last year. It's allowed him to be, you know, one of our MVPs. You know, what him and Caden Glauber have done, they're such weapons. And when you know the character of the kid, too, it makes it even better.
Talk about the poise for a guy who should be a senior in high school coming in. He's got the tying run at the plate and gets 2 strikeouts. And did you have any notion of bringing somebody else in, or was that Globe's inning to finish?
Yeah, zero thought of anybody else except Caden Glauber. I thought McDuffie was really pitching well too, and he had all 3 pitches working. But I knew in my mind, like, okay, if we get to a certain point, I'm probably going to make a change. We like the matchup with Duffy. Again, you know, it's easy for me as the head coach to want to go to Globe quicker sometimes. And Coach Gaines, we met today. We always meet before the game, and he felt really strongly that Walker McDuffie was a really good matchup against them. But when you get to that point and you've seen enough hitters, you know, you want to bring in one of your best guys who can recover and has that fastball. So, man, he's fun to watch, isn't he? I'm just glad he's not. For any future kids that we try to get to do that, it's probably a good idea to just come a year early.
Inside Carolina, Yale got ahead early and often. He used his hammer curve and then his power slider. How did you see this lineup just keep grinding out those at-bats?
You know, back to that first inning, I thought Cooper Nicholson, he's been locked in. He didn't have a lot to show for it, but him moving the ball and getting another run was huge in my opinion, and going up 2-0 instead of 1-0. But he's good. I mean, we knew he was good, and you're seeing it out here. You know, you look at Georgia's starter last night. We faced him last year at Stanford. If a pitcher's on, you got to match him. And that's basically what I was thinking. It's like, we can't give up runs right here because he's just a tough at bat. Maybe we can get him out of there. Maybe they'll make a mistake and somebody will juice one. That's what Gavin did. But I thought he was really good. For a lefty without a changeup, it's unusual that he's that dominant against right-handed hitters, but our righties really had trouble with him. Our lefties were a little bit better, but man, he was good, and he got on quick after that first inning.
Nick Dioli, College Baseball Central. Coach, it seems like every day Gavin earns a new nickname. What's it like when he comes up to bat, and more times than not, you know that he's going to come up clutch for you guys?
I mean, Gavin Gallagher is the definition of a baseball player. Old school, can play all over the field, doesn't care where he plays, played 2 years at third, tough position to learn, moved over to second. Our middle infield has been outstanding. We had him and Jake Schaffner at shortstop pretty much the whole fall, and then I told him he was playing second, and he don't care. He just wants to win. Raised the right way. His dad played at Wake Forest, phenomenal family. And I'm glad, I don't know if Adam Lucas is in here, but Adam Lucas called me when he was young, Gavin Gallagher, and said, hey, this kid plays with Asher, and he's a really good baseball player. And the next thing you know, we're offering him. And so I always tell Adam Lucas, that was a good recruit for you.
We're going to take one more from Michael right up front.
Coach, Colin Heineck starting a rally again in the sixth. He reached on that error. I know he got forced out at second, but he also had the caught stealing of Guzman at third base in the early innings. Felt like a big play in that game, and obviously the error led to the 3 runs. What can you say about his performance tonight?
Yeah, Colin, he's level-headed, and, man, he's been so good. It's been tough on Macon. Shout out to Macon Winslow. He's been playing, fighting that wrist that he got hit against High Point. And I don't think a lot of kids would play. That's my kind of guy that's like, hey, I'm going to play and help my team win. And there's no doubt something really good is going to happen for Macon Winslow moving forward. But, yeah, Heineck's been outstanding. He's got some clutch in him, and he knows how to make a big play offensively and defensively. And that was a huge play. I've forgotten about that. I should have brought that up. I was hoping, I couldn't tell if he was safe or not. I was just glad that they decided he was out. But that was a really good throw by Colin Heineck.
That concludes our press conference, Coach. We appreciate your time.